Welcome to Talks with Teads. We're here today with Les Binet, co-author of The Long and Short of It, and we're really excited to have a great conversation today.
Thanks. Nice to be here.
Amazing. So how has the 60-40 rule evolved with today's media mix?
Well, the 60-40 rule isn't really a rule as such. I mean, I guess just to paraphrase for people who are maybe not familiar with it, we found in our research that budgets tend to work best if they're split about 60% long-term brand building and about 40% short-term performance. But it's not an iron rule. It varies by category, it varies by size of brand, it varies by price point and various other factors. So it's really a principle for how you think about splitting budgets. So how has it evolved? We talked about the 60-40 split in our book in 2013, The Long and the Short of It. And since we talked about how you think about tweaking it for your context of your brand.
What do we think that today a healthy balance of brand and performance looks like?
Well, I guess there's no simple short answer to that. For example, if you're an average sized B2C brand, you might go for roughly 60-40, 60% brand, 40% performance. If you're in B2B, it's closer to 50-50. But if you're like a little startup, in the early phase of your growth, is actually you need to go activation heavy and then tilt to brand later on. So, I mean, the short answer is there is no short answer.
What do you think is one common pitfall of long-term brand planning?
Ooh. Well, the biggest one is not to do it. It's like, people don't, they think too much about that short term and they don't actually think about the long term. The most common one is people are just too focused on the short term, focused on short-term metrics, short-term strategies, short-term media, short-term content, and they're not thinking about long-term growth. Very occasionally, I do meet brands that make the other mistake is that they think that brand is all just about feelings and imagery and it's divorced from selling. No, brand building is all about sales and profit, and you have to think about it in terms of sales and profit. So, Peter Field and I wrote this book, The Long and the Short of It, and as Mark Ritson cleverly said, the most important word in that is and. You need to think about both.
If you were writing a new chapter today, what would it focus on?
Oh, okay. I think an area that needs more attention at the moment is about pricing. This is not new. We have known for decades that good brand marketing doesn't just shift volume, it affects price. It affects how people respond to price sensitivity, pricing power. But I think it's an area that needs more research, more evidence, and it's an area that marketers need to focus on more now because of the return of inflation. Price has, for a long time, been off people's radars because, inflation was low, prices were broadly static. Now, if you want to make money in today's world, you need to be able to manipulate and influence pricing power, and brand can help you do that, and that's something I'd like people to think about at the moment.
Well, thank you so much for the conversation today.
You're very welcome.
It's been such a pleasure talking to you here at Talks with Teads, and hope you enjoy the rest of your can.
Thank you very much.